Hey there, good morning. Welcome back to the JeepSolid garage. Today we're going to take you through the process of installing this transfer case back into my Project Jeep PJ here. No, it's not PJ anymore, it's OJ now. I wonder why I called it OJ. Anyways, this transfer case is completely rebuilt. It's all good to go. New chain, sprockets are all good. New gaskets and seals. It is looking really tight now. I'm happy with how the rebuild turned out. It was giving me issues where something was slipping with my four-wheel drive. We're going to install this and take it out, test drive it, see if our issue is resolved. So I'm going to prepare the surface here. The previous owner, looks like when they put the transfer case back on the transmission, they put a layer of RTV here. We have a fancy little gasket here that came with our kit that's going to fit on there. In my opinion, you do not need to RTV this. And actually, there's a little weep hole right down here. So any transmission fluid that's going to come out, there's a little gap right here. There's a little weep hole right there that drains out underneath. So putting RTV here isn't going to save it from dripping or leaking or anything because there's a hole on the back. But anyways, let's clean this up, get our new surface all shiny clean for our gasket. And one of my backyard mechanic pro tips, is that like an oxymoron? Backyard mechanic pro? Get yourself a little mechanic's pillow. This is so nice. And when you're laying underneath a vehicle like this, have something to prop your head on. Oh, this is a lifesaver. Save your neck muscles. All right, let's wrestle this transfer case back into its spot. If you don't have one of these low profile transmission jacks, I highly recommend it. Saves you a lot of hassle with rustling this thing around. I'll be sure to include a link in the description below of a transmission jack just like this one, an Amazon link where you can pick one up. And when you're tightening everything down, make sure your vent tubing, your wires are all out of the way. Got a little bit of blue Loctite on there. And I can go ahead and tighten up my bolts. All right, it's all bolted up good. Let's hook up our speed sensor, the vacuum hose, the vent, all that. And then we're gonna hook up our shift linkage here as well. If you need a more detailed view of how to put all this stuff together, how it all came apart, I'd recommend going back and watching my first video where I disassemble this. I do a pretty good job of covering all these little parts and how to remove everything, keep everything in order. Now we're gonna get ready to install the rear or the front drive shaft here. But first I have to remember to torque my yoke nut here. And we're in neutral, that doesn't help me. All right, there we go. Got my water pump wedged back in there. Hold the yoke still. Torque this guy down to 110 foot-pounds. If you're putting your drive shaft in and one of your caps falls off your U-joint, you gotta check all your needle bearings on the inside there. You can see how that one's fallen down out of place there. Gotta flip him back up where he belongs. Now I can put him back on. And a little tip if you're struggling to get your front drive shaft back in place, you're trying to wedge it over, slip it in there, try jacking up your whole transmission, your transfer case, lift it up a little bit. That gave me plenty of room to slip this in there. All right, now same thing with the rear drive shaft. Alrighty, we got the transmission mount back in place. Now we can get our skid plate cross member on here, bolted up. All right, now let's fill it up with our ATF +4 transfer case fluid. I'm also gonna double check my transmission fluid level because I lost a little bit of transmission fluid while I was doing this. Let's pump this up. filled up until it starts spilling out of that fill hole. All right, transmission and transfer case fluid levels are full. Hopefully this fixes our issue. Let's go test drive it. All right, we're all installed. We're gonna go test this out. Hopefully that stretch chain was the issue. I've got a film crew with me.
Hello.
We're gonna go out to the four-wheel drive park and test this out. All right, the moment of truth. I'm gonna back down this steep spot and put it in four-wheel drive and see if I get any of that slippage again, like that chain slippage. So let's test it. I think it's fixed, yes! All right, let's just go have some fun now.
Yay!
I didn't know I was on the other side. All right, so you got the clutch in. This is, first gear is gonna be if you push this forward. So pull it over and push it forward. There you go. So that's first gear. Go ahead and leave it in first. Now slowly, look where you're going. Slowly let the clutch out a little bit, and when you feel it catch, give it a little bit of gas. Okay, give it gas. Oh. You killed it. Your very first time killing it. Yay! Okay, same thing again. Let the clutch out till you feel it catch a little bit. Then give it some gas. Give it some gas. Give it some gas now. Stop letting. So you're letting the clutch out a little too fast. So once you feel it catch, like stop letting the clutch out until you give it some gas. Then once we start going, let the clutch out the rest of the way, okay? When you feel it catch, stop letting it out, give it gas. And once we start going a little bit, let the clutch out a little bit more. And that should work for you. Too much gas. Okay, stop. Now gas, gas, gas. There you go, there you go. Third time's the charm. You got it. Let the clutch out all the way, but be ready to push it in, okay? A little bumpy, huh?
Just a little.
Okay, let's try stopping. So push the clutch in and hit the brake. There you go. Good job. Your first time driving a clutch. You think you can go through that, or just kind of through the edge of it?
I can try.
Let's give it a try. All right, slowly let the clutch out till you feel it catch, then stop and give it some more gas, and then we'll start going and let the clutch out all the way. Gas, gas. Okay, let the clutch out. There you go. Pick your line. There we go, we made it. A little crazy. Here, go through that puddle.
Middle one?
The little one there. Yeah, I don't want you to go through the super deep stuff over there. We'll get stuck for sure. Alright, push the clutch in. Brake. Good job, babe. Okay, now let's put it in neutral. So pull it out of first gear until it wobbles back and forth. Okay, now you can let the clutch out. Go ahead and push the parking brake on the left. Yep. There you go.
Yay!
Good job. So it looks like we got our four-wheel drive issue fixed. Turned out to be that chain just slipping all along. So we're gonna play a little bit more, but thank you guys so much for watching and have a good day.